DAhoy.
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 We focus more and more on transversal skills and competencies, as we addressed in DAhoy. So skills are more focused on the ability of the learner and the future professional to apply knowledge, practice, training, or attitude to complete a task or solve problems, which is kind of activities driven by engineers. And competencies are more related to the ability to do something with proficiency, most often in a professional context. And transversal competencies are a combination of skills, of course, knowledge, but also qualities and attitudes. Several mediums we had. So we provided 8 YouTube videos. You have the link here. We have a Twitter account, which is used at the time. And we have 3 reports of about 100 pages, 6 analyses of all the teaching and learning events, about 15 pages, 15 publications in conferences and journals, and also many good practices, method, quality assurance processes, and course samples available on the website already in English and sometimes in French. The U Continuum for Career Decision Making is available also. The card game is available also on their Creative Commons, and the VUCA toolbox also is to be used.
The idea of the DAhoy project, as you understand, was to share and confront educational innovations, practice and methods coming from the partners regarding decisionship. It was to catalyze the engagement of learners with innovation courses integrated in existing programs that could be adapted, of course, and that probably would be adapted with the crisis, as some new adjustment will be made, to develop some tools for assessment of the skills within the decision skill framework, and we will have a presentation about that during the day as well. And to assess the quality and achievements all along the project, and that was made thanks to an external evaluation of the project. It was conducted by Liliane Esnault.
I'm going to talk to you briefly about the learning and teaching mobilities which took place during year 1 and year 2 of the project. Over the course of the 2 years, 6 different events were held. In year 1, the 3 events were staff-centred, meaning that generally the participants of the project tried the activities in place of the students. These were then followed by 3 student-centred events, again at the Carnival, then MTI Atlantic and Reykjavik University.
Today I will be talking to you about Disaster Week, which is a 2-day intensive course organized by Reykjavik University in September 2019, and in which, along with students from City of Glasgow College, Econaval, and IMT Atlantic, we participated with around 230 first-year Icelandic students. So the goal of the course was to come up with a solution to a global crisis, and in our case, in groups of 5 to 7 students, we were tasked to isolate and protect areas of Iceland in a pandemic by dividing the island into multiple cells that are able to sustain themselves for around at least 3 months.
First off, what exactly did these activities consist of? So although there were mainly 2 outdoor exercises during the day, We started off with some theoretical classes on leadership and decision-making processes, during which the instructors would, for instance, describe some of the qualities of a good leader and explain the useful methods for the analysis of a VUCA situation. As for the outdoor activities, there were notably 2 exercises. So the first was a dinghy race, and the second was a series of forest workshops, of which there were 5.
So I would say the program was split into 2 sections. The first few days we spent mainly inside a classroom, attending lectures, learning about what vocality is, different aspects of decisionship and how to implement your decisionship skills in these critical VUCA situations. We also learned the fundamentals of sailing, because the second part of the week we spent actually on a sailing boat at sea, which was a totally new experience for me, and I think all of us in the Icelandic group at least. So there we had to perform and execute different tasks in critical situations. For example, man overboard rescue, and we had to do it under a time limit, and it was challenging and exciting at the same time. What I found was maybe the best learning experience for me personally was developing the ability to recognize and qualify different critical situations. So it became more and more clear to me during the week that having a good plan to follow in these situations makes a tremendous difference.
Looking back on the experience and how I've used that now in today's world, I think that I've taken the leadership and also the decision-making aspect from the project and put that forward in the decision-makings and leadership that I've had this past year. Especially, I took the route of going to university, and this year we had another project of making a wave energy converter. Well, I had to lead the team, and it definitely helped because we had people from different nationalities that had different interests, so it was putting them in the right place so that they could do what they wanted and that they were happy, so everybody else as a team worked well together.
So I think this probably the skills and the competencies that students in the DAhoy program have learned in terms of observing and analyzing and using critical thinking for decision making in stress and so forth. I think all of these skills can probably be used in one's personal life, not just in one's work, but also dealing with things that can happen in life and working in a company where there may be downsizing or things going on.
I would like to propose some elements for a debate on decision-making competencies and the notion of responsibility. So I propose here the circle of mobility, and from a situation of mobility or experiential learning, the individual is confronted with new situations in which learning will be multiple in different fields, calling on the individual's responsibility to take charge of his or her own life and to achieve the object of mobility and experience. The capacity to develop decision-making skills is at stake in these moments.
Also, those networks work with companies and other institutions to help and generate models of cooperation with the vocational training centers and with us, the Regional Government of Education, in order to create those learning methods.
And it's now obvious that reskilling and upskilling will become key in economic recovery and the development of resilient teams. Moving forward, it is recognised that decision skills will become ever more important in these uncertain times. Education providers will also be examining their offer and are likely to be considering designing, developing and providing new short dynamic courses or qualifications to help people to develop their skills and in some cases help them back to employment or to even change careers.
There is a diversity of pedagogical activities dealing with decision making. Such activities can be found in scientific, management sciences, or also operational career management. You have here 3 examples from City Glasgow College, French Naval Academy, and EMTA, where you can discover the day skills which are associated with the activity. You notice that depending on the activity, you develop a certain skill.
The 6 reference models in the DAhoy program. This is the platform that an educational institute can study and take lessons from to implement a curriculum or a teaching program in the VUCA world, so to speak. We came up with the 6 models, and the first is the context. The context was actually written by Reykjavik University, and it describes the mission and strategies and the tactical approach and the change management approach necessary to ensure or at least increase the possibilities of successful implementation.
DAhoy has also spread to the European and international level, generating significant impacts as a result of its activities. What kind of international impacts? As a first, international impacts, writing quality articles and book chapters on career decision-making and diverse situation generated by COVID-19 in international forums. The partners have presented numerous publications around the world on these DAhoy topics.
If we are thinking about sustainability, the issue here is that the real actors of sustainability are not only the partners organization, but what is called in the project the target audiences, which are not only target, but which are real actors of the sustainability of the outcome. So I just give you a small table about the possibility that are open to start using and reappropriating the production of the DAhoy project in your own context.
When it comes to education and curriculum design, I think that in order to shift from uncontrollable VUCA towards a more manageable VUCA, DAhoy resources to be considered an international benchmark.
And I think we can I can put a kind of challenge to DAhoy. because the COVID-19 crisis provides us an extraordinary VUCA context there. And in fact, if you look at what has been done in the world, it's clear that the COVID-19 crisis illustrates the role of cognitive biases in decision making.
So if we look at where we are today in terms of higher education and the future, we can see that there's a great amount of VUCA, and this comes about as a result of diverse factors, but this includes the fourth industrial revolution, COVID-19, and also the fifth industrial revolution. And COVID-19 in particular has had a great impact on the workforce and the world of work as well.